At the crowded gate of JFK Airport, exhaustion hung heavy in the air. Families argued over boarding passes, children fussed, and travelers clutched coffee cups as if they were lifelines. In the middle of it all stood Daniel, a single dad in his mid-30s, trying to keep his little girl, Emma, calm. Emma was 7, full of curiosity, and holding her stuffed bunny as though it were her passport to adventure. This was no ordinary flight for her. It was her very first trip outside the United States. For Daniel, this moment had taken years to create. He had been working double shifts as a paramedic, skipping vacations, even saying no to things for himself, all to save enough to show Emma the world beyond their small apartment. They weren't flying for luxury. They were flying for memories. But just as Daniel guided Emma to their assigned row, a flight attendant stopped them. "Sir, I'm afraid there's been a mistake with your tickets." Daniel's heart dropped. He had nightmares about this exact thing, something going wrong, Emma being disappointed. He tried to keep his voice calm. "A mistake? Is there a problem?" The attendant looked apologetic. "There's been an overbooking in economy. We'll need to move you and your daughter." Emma tugged her dad's sleeve, her big eyes worried. "Daddy, did we do something wrong?" Daniel knelt beside her and forced a smile. "Of course not, sweetheart. Sometimes grown-ups just make mix-ups." Then the attendant added, "We'd like to offer you both seats in first class instead." Daniel blinked. "First class? Are you serious?" Emma gasped. "Daddy. Is that where the chairs are like beds? And they give you ice cream?" Daniel chuckled nervously. "Something like that." Minutes later, they were seated in wide leather chairs with enough space for Emma to stretch her legs and twirl around. A flight attendant placed juice in a glass cup in front of her, along with a tiny teddy bear that made her squeal with delight. Daniel couldn't stop looking around. He wasn't used to luxury, not even close. But for the first time in years, he let himself exhale. Emma's laughter filled the cabin, and for that moment, it felt like the world was kind. Until another passenger arrived. A woman in her late 30s, sharp in a tailored suit, strode down the aisle. She moved with the kind of confidence that made people instinctively get out of the way. She stopped directly in front of Daniel and Emma. "You're in my seat," she said firmly. Daniel froze, fumbling with his boarding pass. I'm sorry, ma'am. The airline said there was a mix-up. They put us here." Her eyes flicked from Daniel to Emma, who was proudly introducing her teddy bear to the big seat, then back to Daniel. Her lips tightened, and for a second, he thought she'd have them thrown out. But instead, she simply sighed and slid into the seat across the aisle, silent but clearly irritated. Daniel wanted to disappear. He hated the feeling of being judged, of looking like he didn't belong. He avoided her eyes the entire takeoff. Halfway through the flight, when Emma finally fell asleep, the woman leaned toward him. "You know," she said, her tone softer now, "most people in your situation wouldn't have been given this seat." Daniel looked at her, cautious. "My situation? Single dad. Traveling with a child. Clearly not someone who usually flies first class." The word stung. He straightened in his seat. "Look, I didn't ask for this. I work hard. I've been saving for years to give my daughter this trip. I don't want to take anything that doesn't belong to me." For the first time, her expression softened. She studied him for a long moment, then said quietly, "My father was a single parent too. He raised me while working 3 jobs. People underestimated him all the time. I know how hard it is." Daniel blinked, caught off guard. "That's kind of you to say." She extended her hand. "I'm Sophia Reynolds." He shook it. "Daniel." Sophia smiled faintly. "Daniel, what would you say if I told you, this isn't just my seat? It's my plane. Daniel frowned. I don't understand. I'm the CEO of Sky Vista Airlines, she said matter-of-factly. Every seat, every flight, every plane, you're sitting in something I own. And the seat you're in right now? That's the one I usually take. Daniel stared at her. You own the airline? She nodded casually. But when I saw your daughter's face light up, I realized maybe she needed it more than I did today. For the first time, Daniel was speechless. He turned to look at Emma, still curled up with her teddy bear, sleeping peacefully. I don't know what to say, he murmured. I just wanted to give her something special. I can't give her the world, but I can give her moments like this. Sophia's eyes glistened. You've already given her the world, Daniel. Do you know how rare it is, what you're doing? Working yourself to exhaustion, sacrificing everything, just so she can have memories she'll treasure? That's real wealth. Her voice trembled slightly as she continued. My father was the same. He sacrificed everything for me. But he never got to enjoy the rewards. By the time I could repay him, it was too late. He was gone. Daniel felt a lump in his throat. I'm sorry, he said quietly. Sophia nodded. When I look at you, I see him. And when I look at your daughter, I see myself, the little girl who just wanted her dad to be okay. For a moment, they sat in silence, the hum of the engines filling the space between them. Finally, Daniel whispered, I'll never stop trying for her. No matter how hard it gets. Sophia reached across the aisle and gently placed her hand over his. And I'll never forget what it felt like to give up my seat today. Because it reminded me that kindness, real kindness, changes people. Even CEOs. When the plane landed in London, Daniel gathered their bags. Before they